Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP. Right now I'm in Atwater. I've been taking you guys through my journey. Through the course of 20 plus years, there's a lot of things that go on. There's a lot of things that happen. And me trying to remember everything, it's not hard, but at the same time, there's so many stuff I don't remember them all. But I just remember the story today about something that happened in Lompoc while I was there that I want to share with you. It has to do with the MA, Black Hand. I had some requests of some people wanted me to share more stories about, that organization or those people. Well, this particular story, we were in Lompoc. It was toward the end before we got to Victorville. And, at the time, when this dude came on the yard, he was Sereno, but I'm not sure how he ranked in a hierarchy, but they had a case that the rumor was that he testified against some of the big homies. Now, this story was relayed to me by my homeboy Pine that lived in L Block. Pine, he lives in Hawaii, but he still stays in contact with some of the big homies that's in ADX, particularly Tomas. They were good friends. So this story right here is how Tomas made his bones. I'm sure it wasn't just this one incident that earned him the Black Hand, but this was the incident that I was there on the yard when it happened. So the story goes, they had a Sereno that came on the compound, and rumors were swirling around that he had testified against one of their big homies. So, in everything in Lompoc or throughout the penitentiary, when there's something that's going to be handled or whatever, people give each other the respect by letting other people know, hey, this stuff is going to go down over here, so go ahead and get your care package. Do whatever you got to do to prepare for a lockdown. But in Lompoc, we never get locked down. The unit might get locked down until they can secure the situation, until they clean up the blood or whatever, and then we're back up. So Pine comes out in the compound, him and another Hawaiian homie named Muhammad. He's half black, half white. Not white, half black, half Hawaiian. They lived in L Block. And Pine, he fucks it real tough with Tomas and a couple other big homies. As far as like men go, they're on, the same, they're all, I don't want to say equal because we identify things differently, but they were respected and he became really good friends with a lot of them. So he comes to tell us, hey, this shit's about to go down. Do whatever you gotta do. We might be locked down for a minute because it's serious. I don't really understand or know the politics that controls or dictates how the Serenos and the Southsiders and the MA do their business. And I don't ask questions. I never ask questions. I deal with whoever I deal with. For the most part, I don't really meet people just to be friends with them. Everybody that I'm friends with in the penitentiary was always introduced to me by somebody else that I know and trust, and vice versa. If I got somebody, a homie that comes on the compound, but I don't know his character or I haven't evaluated him, and I'm not gonna take him and introduce him to the people that I really fuck with. And people know, and by me not saying something or not introducing someone to somebody, the people that I fuck with knows that, oh, this guy's not up to par, because I don't want to introduce you, somebody I fuck with, to somebody that I really don't know nothing about, that I can't stamp. And then, because if I introduce him, you guys do business, or you guys deal with him or whatever, you guys become friends, then he turns out to be foul, then that's going to be a reflection on me. So I don't make a habit of introducing a lot of people to the people I associate with. So Pine comes out and he tells us, hey, this stuff's going to go down. Now, at the time, Perico, he's a black hand. He's in M block. The guy that came off the bus is in L block. I think maybe Tomas lived in L block with Pine. But there was also another Sereno named Yogi. You know, he was in a black hand at the time, and I don't know if he ever got made or anything like that. But on the compound that we were on, he had a lot of respect amongst the Serenos, amongst the black hand, and amongst the people around him. So before dinner or after dinner, they can say they're going to hit this dude that came on the compound. Now, understand that back then, like, I don't know how it is right now or on different compounds, but back then, when you're dealing with a situation, you're not beating somebody up. When you're dealing with a situation, when somebody has to get X'd out and dealt with, it's always knives. And it's always with the intention to kill. Because no matter how many times, no matter what your intentions are, when you go deal with a situation with a weapon, especially a knife, you're never gonna be able to just say, oh, I'm just gonna poke him a couple times and teach him a lesson. You know, when that steel goes into you, it could be one time or 100 times. I've seen people that's got stabbed 37 times and survive, and then somebody else get hit one time and die. So when it's serious enough to bring out the knives, then you know the intention is to kill. So Pine was in the block when the incident jumped off. It was after dinner. I think the guy that came off the yard, the Sereno that we're discussing right here, was playing spades or pinochle on the table. You know, so often, not so often, but almost every single time, the victim never knows that he's got it coming. Me, it just baffles me that everybody knows themselves, knows what they've done more than anybody else. You know, I don't know what you've done, but you know exactly what you've done. So if this guy was foul, I just didn't understand how he felt that he could just come on the compound and everything was going to be good and not be on guard. Or, you know, if you fucked up and you know that the way you fucked up is going to cause you a death sentence, like, what are you doing? You just going to try a motherfucker, think everybody else around you is a bunch of lame and you can go and do whatever you want and no one's going to deal with you? So, again, it baffles me. So he comes on the compound. It's after dinner. Pine tells me, you know, Perico lives in M block. He doesn't live in L block where the incident went down. The guy is playing cards. Perico comes in the unit and he sees him playing cards and he goes up to him and he takes his feet and goes like this to him, like that. I mean, you know, you being part of that organization, you know there's no idle threat. This is serious people. They have a history of violence. They're serious people. So you know for them to be made to receive the black hand, they're a serious individual. So if a person like that comes in front of you and drags his finger across his neck, how else can you interpret that you're about to die? like me, I always have my spider senses active. You know, if somebody that I know that is serious and is part of a serious organization comes and slit his throat at me, I'm gonna be on guard. If at the very least, especially if I know there's a reason for that, I'm gonna be the first one to take off or do something instead of sitting my ass down there fucking playing cards thinking like everything is cool. Well, like I said, I don't know if Yogi lived in the block, L block, but I'm pretty sure Tomas did. Well, Yogi and Tomas was the one sent on the mission. They said that Pine tells me that they were sitting there playing cards. And Yogi and Tomas came over there, and the knife they say they were using was like a foot long. Now, that might be an exaggeration because, you know, when you're witnessing a traumatic event, your reality might be a little warped as opposed to what really is. But in this particular incident, I really do believe that the knife was a foot long, because when people go on missions, especially a serious mission, that they gotta hurt somebody, they gotta kill somebody, they're not taking a little pick to them. They're taking something that's gonna do some damage. So he's either Tomas or Yogi. They came up where the guy was playing spades and just hit him. Wow. I said the first one went to his shoulder blade. He said it looked like he buried the knife in his shoulder blade. And when he pulled it out to go hit him again, like blood was squirting out, and the guy just jumped up because now he's just in survival mode. Like he just got shot. You know, he's just sitting there playing cards and bah! And boom, he jumps up and try to run. And Yogi and Tomas is on him, chasing him, hitting him, bah, bah, bah. I don't know how many times he got hit, and I don't think that he died because I didn't hear that the guy died, but for me, it's like this. This dude's foul. He's gonna get dealt with. And when you're part of these things that you sign up for, I'm pretty sure you have a good idea of what is expected of you, and then the repercussions when you don't live up to them. Also, they want to make an example. Like, we don't let dudes like this sit around us. When you violate these rules, these are the penalties. So part of my program for everybody, part of my videos is that I've repeated over and over again. I'm not here to tell you what to do or what not to do. My message to you is understand what you're signing up for. And know in your heart, if you can fulfill that, if you can live up to that, if you really can commit to that. Because a lot of times when you sign up to these different families, different organizations, or however you want to call them, you're not just signing up just yourself. You're signing up your whole family and everybody else that you know. Because when a case gets serious enough and they can't get to you, they're going to get to the next closest thing, which is your family, your extended family. That's your wives, that's your kids. It's everybody that you love around you. You know, when we say we're men on man time, we're talking about we're going to take on the responsibility, the obligations, and uphold what we sign up to with our eyes open. No one can coerce you into signing up with these different entities. You did that. because you feel like it benefited you some type of way, whether it gave you status, whether it gave you financial means, or however, you decide of your own free will that you want to be a part of this. And when you sign up to be a part of this thing, there's no time out. There's no retirement. There's no, hey, I'm too old now. I have kids. I don't want to be active no more. This is the things that you need to understand. When people tell you, hey, it's blood in and blood out, that's what it is. You know, I have a saying, it's blood in and no outs. If you come to me, you sign up with me, man, that's what it is till the grave. You might be able to earn your retirement because you've done the things that you're supposed to do in the way you're supposed to do it, and your homies around you respect that and say, hey, Mesa, man, you've done enough. You're older now. Man, go ahead and move on and live your life. Like, the only reason I'm able to sit here and share you these stories is because I've had that blessings. But outside of that, there's no way out. My friend Gato, he's an MA. We was in Lompoc and Victorville together. He left Victorville. He went home from Victorville. He was already in his late 60s. I have no idea how long he's been in prison before he left. But he went home. 6 months later, got caught up in a RICO. Came back. But he didn't come back and cry, oh, I should have changed my life. I should have done this. I'm too old for this or too old for that. No. He was an individual that understood what he signed up for. That this is his life. And he's going to die with that patch on him. And rest in peace to Gato, he did end up dying. I think it was in Macquarie or Cayman. You know, forgive me if I have the penitentiary wrong, but it was either Macquarie or Cayman. He got killed. But that's your two options when you sign up for this life. You're going to end up in a box, whether it's one with a gun tower around it or one beneath your feet. Welcome to the USP.